Let me tell you something real quick, okay? The moment you stop allowing people to walk over you is the moment they will start calling you rude, disrespectful, and selfish. Be rude, disrespectful, and selfish if you need to be. Protect your peace. Your peace is precious, okay? That peace, you can't buy it in the market. Manipulation hates boundaries. You have to put your foot down. Swipe her, no bloody swiping. Once you stop being physically and emotionally available for disrespect, the ones who benefited from it will have the loudest opinions. So what you're gonna do, right, is let them talk. You see them narcissists, yeah? They love to hear the sound of their own voice with their calculated crap. You're not here to be anybody's doormat, okay? Let's get that correct quickly. Even in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 23, it clearly states, above all else, everything you do, guard your heart. For everything you do flows from it. It doesn't say guard everybody else's feelings. No. It says guard your heart, okay? Protect your peace. Is literally your treasure. You are never too much. You are fine and perfect just the way you are. Keep going, because God's got you.
Hi guys, welcome back to Clare's Archives. Today we're going to be talking about not tolerating disrespect. If you want to be a powerful person, a powerful woman or man in this world, you need to know where to draw the line and to not let people disrespect you or treat you like you're less than. If people fear or fail to see the value in you, you should leave them where they are, but in no circumstances should you ever tolerate disrespect. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
The type of people that genuinely enjoy their own company are dangerous because they literally don't need anybody. These are the type of people that enjoy their own company and value quality time spent with themselves. So they really don't have the time for the foolishness that comes with people. They will literally cut you off before you can blink. Because dealing with drama, that detracts from their happiness, their peacefulness. They literally do not care about losing people because they are so comfortable with themselves, they don't need anybody else. Anybody else that comes into their life is just a bonus. We live in a day and age where a lot of foolishness comes with having connections with others. And that's where people who are comfortable being by themselves thrive, because they will literally have no issue or problem removing anybody from their lives who take away from their peace instead of adding to it. If you don't bring peace into their life or add happiness to their life, you can literally find the next exit, because they don't need you to be happy, because they already have that happiness within themselves. So they're not afraid to lose anybody, because the happiness that people often seek from others is already within them. So if you come across somebody that enjoys their own company and enjoys solitude, treat them right. Because it took a lot for them to accept you into their life and into their routine, because they were doing just fine by themselves.
Women who are respected also don't act too overly familiar with people and aren't afraid to correct someone when they act too overly familiar with them. A perfect example of this was when Megan Sussex corrected Mindy for calling her Meghan Markle. Even if Mindy wasn't aware of the title change, which is just like, how could you not? The fact that Megan Sussex made it a point to correct her served as a reminder for Mindy to think twice before she says something or does something around Megan Sussex, which is important, because when you respect someone, you think twice about how you behave so that you are not offending that person, so that you are not crossing their boundaries. Because why? Because you respect them. You should want people to think twice before they do certain things around you. That just goes to show that you are upholding a certain standard that they should follow. You not acting too familiar with someone also decreases the possibilities of you being disrespected in the future, because you got to think about it. When someone first meets you, 9 times out of 10, they're respectful. Why? Because they don't know you. So it's your job to make sure that respect is maintained based on how you interact with someone, based on the messages that you're sending to someone through boundaries, constant reminders of how you want to be treated. And this is just one of the reasons why women struggle with being respected out in the world, is because the way that we bond and build relationships with each other, with people in general, is by being overly familiar with those people. This is why women feel comfortable saying things like, "You're so pretty, can we be friends?" When it's just like, you earn friendship from me. You get what I'm saying? Just because we're both women doesn't mean that you are automatically given friendship, and It even goes to show that as women, oftentimes we don't respect each other too, because we feel like just because that woman is another woman, that means that, you know, I should have a place in her life. When it's just like, you earn that when you respect somebody, and you are okay with earning that when you respect somebody.
The number one thing that people dislike me for on social media is my hatred for the concept of being humble, and especially the prioritization of it. Because everyone's like, being humble is good behavior. No, good behavior is being kind, considerate, non-judgmental. Those are three entirely different words. The literal definition of being humble is to have a low sense of one's own importance, and I'm never going to advocate for that, especially for women. I entirely get the message that you're trying to give me here, but humble is not the word for that. Being humble is literally undermining your own value and your own worth. And the reason I'm so passionate about this is because I did that my entire life. I was quiet, I was humble, I was a people pleaser, I never understood my own worth or importance, and I always paid myself down. And guess what? Those years of being like that is exactly when I hated myself and my life the most. It wasn't until I stepped into my power and understood my importance and valued myself so highly that I could finally attract the job, the wealth, the friends, the love of my life that I actually deserved. Because I was able to set high standards and enforce them, set boundaries, actually understand what I bring to the table, and every single woman, no person, deserved to think that way about themselves. And the reason I will always fight so hard about this, and I don't even care how often I'm misunderstood about my take on this, is because as someone who speaks about self-development and self-love on the internet, no one will ever understand the amount of messages, comments, DMs I get from women saying, but how do I know if I'm loving myself too much? How do I love myself without guilt? Women don't even get the chance to work on themselves and pour into themselves and see their value without first having to worry about everybody else's perception on that. Without worrying about the fact that they might be taking up too much space, or they're making other people feel too uncomfortable in them being confident in who they are. I don't think there's any such thing as loving yourself too much, and I don't think there should ever be any concern or worry about how do I love myself but also balance humility with this. No, love yourself and be a kind person. And of course, don't think you're better than anybody else. I'll never advocate for that either. Being humble is literally about undermining yourself, and that is for no one.
Stop being nice. They think, I'm telling y'all, a man doesn't walk around saying, oh, that's the nicest woman. That's a nice woman. No, what they really are saying, that's a stupid girl. That's a dumb girl. She'll believe whatever I tell her. I can run this game on her. She's so nice. She's not a no person. She's not going to question me. She's just going to go with it. She's a nice girl. So you can't be nice, okay? Because they take your kindness for weakness and stupidity. If you don't believe me, maybe you should test it out. So for example, if they want to talk to you all day on the phone, haven't asked you out, haven't done anything, it's like, you know what, I'm super busy, but we can talk later. Give me a call later. Like, don't sit on the phone with them all day. If they promise you something, say, okay, well, I can't wait to receive it. Gotta go. Click. And you can say no in a kind way. You can say, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to do that. But thanks for asking. Blah, 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 blah. Just have manners when you are mean. There's a way to be nice, nasty. There's a way to be mean with manners. Okay? But you're still not the stupid, nice girl that's a people pleaser.
If you're pretty, conventionally attractive, or worse, pretty and smart, someone's going to try to humble you. The truth is, you have to know how and when to be a bitch, otherwise people are going to try to mop the floor with you. So welcome to Bitch University, where I teach you how to be strategic, sharp, and bitchy enough to win without ever having to raise your voice. This is lecture 1, how to emotionally starve people who have been trying to feed off of you. You don't owe people the performance of being unbothered. Being unbothered is enough. You don't need to post a quote. You don't need to write them a book on why you don't want to be friends with them anymore. You don't need to explain why you don't care anymore. You don't owe anybody an explanation. Most of the time when you try to give people closure, 9 times out of 10 when you're trying to confront someone or give them closure, it's a trap and you're giving them a chance to manipulate you all over again. That was 1. Now 2, cut off their emotional supply. Emotional reactions are a currency and people feed off of this. No more reactions, no more explanations, no closure. Silence and removing yourself makes them spiral way more than yelling ever would. 3, don't confront, just confuse. Start responding slowly, a bit more cold and more formal. Make them feel that shift without ever having to address it. I love using this method. It just gets the point across so much better than confronting someone. 4, my personal favorite, don't block them, let them watch you. Emotional starvation means they get front row seats to your evolution. Of course, without a single ounce of participation. This drives people crazy. I love when people that don't wish me well and plot on me see me doing good. Just know you're making them mad by living your best life and being your best self. People hate to see pretty women doing well and getting what they want. And 5, if they try to bait you, act confused. Wait, I didn't even think about it like that. Neutralizes the manipulation and kills the ego. Play into their manipulation. Let them think they're truly manipulating you, but you're a smart girl. You're smarter than them. You know and you see what they're doing, but never confront them and let them know that you know they're manipulating you. This can get dangerous and really bad. You want to just, wow, you know, like play into the manipulation and plan your exit and get away from that person. Starving people emotionally doesn't mean you're evil. It means you're finally choosing yourself. And that's the degree we offer here at Bitch University. Let the silence rot them, let them guess, and let them spiral. That's the real revenge. If you have any questions, make sure to comment them below. I'll be sure to get back to you. And as always, I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.
I say you need to teach people, men in particular, how to treat you, a feminine, beautiful woman. I don't mean demanding, this is how I treat me, and you don't do this, and you don't do that. At any given point, you need to be ready to leave that man, especially in the early stages of dating, because in the early stages of dating, you are literally teaching someone how to treat you. They disrespect you, you forgive them. They're like, oh, okay, she can tolerate a little disrespect. I can be rude to her. And it's going to keep on happening. What happens when they disrespect you, when they cross your boundaries, and instead of you making them comfortable and making it easy, you just pull back your energy? He's going to be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't mess with Delilah. She's ready to leave whenever. And it has to be true. I don't care about how much money he has. I don't care about his popularity. I don't care about who he is, because one bus leaves, another one's coming, okay? There's always going to be someone better that's coming, but you have to have the standards. You have to have the self-respect. You have to have the, yes, this really hurts, but I'm gonna turn around and cry when he's not looking, because he's not gonna know this bothers me as much as it is. What this also does is it builds a great foundation and a great relationship with you and yourself, because you teach yourself that you're trustworthy, teach yourself that your comfort is valuable, and you show yourself that you can really keep the things that you say to yourself. You don't need anyone in your space who is willing to disrespect you. I don't care what he can give you. I don't care what he can provide, because there is always better. If you tolerate disrespect or your boundaries being crossed from the very beginning, it's always going to happen throughout your relationship. You have to always be ready to walk away at the first sign of disrespect. If they don't fix their actions and go back and be like, oh yeah, I really did see that I hurt her, or this means a lot to me, let me fix this, they are not your man. Your husband, say it with me, would never. He could never. So the next time you find yourself wanting to be like, Jeremy, don't do this to me, and don't say this to me, and I hate how you treat me, don't say anything to Jeremy, because Billy is gonna be like, oh my gosh, I would never do that to you. You're so beautiful. I can't even believe Jeremy did that to you. And you're gonna be like, yeah, right? Your self-respect and your nervous system being regulated is far more valuable than what any boy man can bring to the table, especially if he's not willing to respect your boundaries or the things that makes you happy, okay? You're a queen.